All right, boys, so round 4 here at Euros, quarterfinals, we're going up against Masenji. And this is a guy that I fought in Worlds in 2023 and kind of ended the same way. So it's really interesting. I'll let you guys go ahead and watch. But we're going to start off. Masenji goes ahead and pulls guard. Now, good game sense. As I start to pace backwards, he goes ahead and tries to stand back up. And he's going to pull with the intention to entangle me on the guard pull. So as I start looking for the outside pass here, I make a really big mistake. He goes ahead and frames me away and then starts working to a lower body grip. From there, he pulls me into like single leg X and starts working to the ankle lock. So my goal here is to push his feet off my hips. I need to disconnect his feet from my torso, and that keeps me safe from the ankle lock. However, Masenji starts to off-balance me and then collects both ankles here. And from this position, he's able to topple me over and start to work towards the back take. So immediately as I feel him starting to work towards the back, I try to roll out, but he does a good job staying connected to my hips. And you're going to see his left foot here get inserted right under my left knee. That's going to extend me just enough so he can start to work towards the upper part of my back. Then he gets torso grips, and then I'm pretty screwed from here. So now in the worst position in Jiu-Jitsu, I'm down 4 points, and we have like 5 minutes left. He has all the time in the world to work on submitting me. So, but at the same time, we have 5 minutes to work, and I can still get out of this and come back to score. So my goal here is to misalign our spines and get my back more so aligned with his thigh, which I try to work towards right now, but he ends up climbing up my back, reestablishing his chest to back connection. And from here, my goal is to just keep pulling that arm over my head and trying to get my back onto the mat here. But he's just so long, and he has such a strong grip over me that it's very, very hard. So eventually he's going to start working towards this straight jacket system, then throws his right leg over and starts to work to a rear triangle. Now, the rear triangle is the worst position in jiu-jitsu, but as soon as I feel that come on, I start rotating and I'm able to get on top. So this is really the only way I think you can escape the rear triangle, is by getting on top and preventing them from really flattening you out from that position. So right now it's like, it's a now or never. Like, he's either going to break my arm or I'm going to get out. So I go ahead and I explode out, and now it's game on. So I try to play conservative, try to conserve my energy leading into this match. And, you know, I have a maximum of 2 more matches after this. So I was trying to play a little more conservative, but being down with an opponent of this caliber, it's like it's a win or loss at this point. Like, I need to win, so I need to burn everything I have now in order to get that win and move on. So getting back into it, I almost hit one of these sequences that I've been working on. So basically I push him back to his back, and then as I'm going for the outside pass here, I try to cut to his right side, and I know he's going to high leg with that right leg. So I try to time it. I drop down into a stack pass, and I'm going to use my left arm to start stacking his hips on top of each other. Then when he goes back to high leg with the other leg, I try to duck under. But unfortunately, he saw that coming, and I didn't really have a lot of great pressure on him. So he was able to stop me in close guard. Now, strategically from Masenji's part, he's not going to play super aggressive anymore. He's going to look to stall a little bit. That's not really a bad thing. Like, I've been doing the same thing in the last 2 matches, but he's going to be playing a lot more mellow, because he doesn't need to work anymore. He just needs to, win on points and move on. And whether you win on points or you won by all submissions, you're still going to be a blue belt, Euros Nogi champion out of 85 guys. So the goal for this tournament is to win. And for Masenji's part, he does not have to do a lot to win anymore. Whereas for me, I need to burn everything that I have. So I'm really trying to push the pace. And that's why as I get stopped in this quarter guard, my pressure game is not as strong as it is now compared to back when I was competing in this tournament. So after I realized, like, okay, I'm not going to really be able to advance position from here because Masenji's good, my pressure isn't that great, I decide to just back out and start to work back to an outside pass. And if you guys have ever played chess before, you know pressure and low time makes you make mistakes. So right here, I should have taken my right arm and started blocking that high leg from coming in, then push the near side knee out of the way. But instead, I'm going super hard. I push the near side knee out of the way, and he's able to defend. But chaining that together, I try to blast knee cut to the opposite side, and he's unfortunately able to entangle me into a reverse de la Hiva. So now if you guys watched the last video, I talked a little bit about how my opponent didn't switch up his strategy in time for him to be able to score. That's something I was very conscious about in this tournament. So instead of going for the outside passes now, you're going to see me just start throwing knee cuts at this guy. The first thing we're going to look for is creating a scenario where we have a top leg and a bottom leg, and the bottom leg is ideally connected to the floor. So then as we jump our knee into cut, I'm making sure to bring my heel all the way back to my butt. That way it can dodge the hook. At the same time, my thigh is slapping his thigh, forcing his body to turn to the opposite direction. And I'm also diving in for that underhook. Once we drop into the pass, my next objective is to get my head across his body, and this will solidify me long enough to score 3 points for the guard pass. So now we're pushed back and we have an opportunity to score another guard pass. So I'm originally going to go for this north-south pass as I see it's open. Then as he defends that, once again, we find ourselves in that scenario and I jump on to another knee cut. This time he's able to start building up, building height, and he almost entangles my leg into a guard, but I'm able to sprawl out of that and I go right back onto another knee cut. So it worked once, so I'm like, all right, just going to keep doing it now. But I try to work onto a guillotine and I'm just not quite able to get under his chin. Now here's where I'm going to nerd out a little bit. So from a strategy perspective, I know Masenji's a guard puller. Okay, so I'm going to give him the double palm grips, expecting him to pull guard. Now, if I can time that with a shot immediately as we touch hands and he pulls guard, the points will still go to me if it looks like I initiated the takedown. So you kind of got to play the ref and play the game a little bit. But as soon as we touch, I'm immediately shooting on that single leg. Now Masenji starts pushing my head down and starts to work towards a back take here. But unfortunately, he ends up falling to bottom and I'm able to pop my head out and get out on top. Now he has me in a triangle choke here from close guard. However, I still scored 2 off that takedown. We have literally 30 seconds left and all I have to do is just not get submitted. And I've already tucked my hand into the pocket of his hips, so I'm feeling pretty safe. He's going to start working towards this triangle, but it's really hard to kind of in the moment decide whether you need points or you need to work towards the submission. I'd say because I have my arm tucked, I don't know, it's really hard to say. So he ends up attempting the triangle for a little bit and he tries to use it to sweep, but he's literally a few seconds too late on switching it up and going for the back. And as he makes that decision and pulls the triangle out and starts to work towards the back, he runs out of time. He gets 1 hook in, but he's just not fast enough to get the second hook in. And I'm able to win by 1 point. Now, the exact same scenario happened in 2023. And that's why, my opponent's obviously pretty devastated. And I try to comfort him. And I'm also visibly pretty devastated because it's a hard game. Both of us are chasing that dream. And unfortunately, only one of us is going to advance. So it's a rough sport. And luckily, I won the coin flip in this match. Could have gone either way. But from here, we're moving on to the semifinals going up against one of the best lightweights in Europe, and it's going to be a scrap. So if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Go pass some guards.